Folks, this live stream is brought to you by my sponsor AAA FX. Now, they're a fully regulated broker in Europe and South Africa, offering Forex indices, commodities, crypto, and over 100 stocks. Now, at AAA FX, you pay no commission on any Forex pair using their ECN Plus account and low commissions on cryptos and stocks. Plus, you can deposit with cash or crypto, get a free VPS with deposits over 5K, and easily integrate the well-known copy trade service Zulu Trade. While you're waiting for the stream to start, go and check them out by clicking the link in the description, comments, or visit AAAFX.com.
All right, guys, what is up? How is everyone doing this lovely, beautiful afternoon? Today is the 2nd of August. It might be the 3rd of August by some of you. So what we're going to be doing tonight, we are going to be talking about patience, right? And patience in your life, patience as a trader. We're going to be also looking at a few setups, past and current, but I want to talk really heavily about patience tonight, right? Just quickly let me know where you're joining from, what time is it by you, and we can get this thing started. Let me know that you can see my screen. And for anybody who is going to be trying to be a pest or nuisance tonight, you will not be we will not be paying any attention to you, right? Beautiful. So tonight, guys, I want to get it started. Let me know where you're joining from and what time is it by you. Let me know you can see my screen, and we'll get the party started. If there are any setups that we can capture tonight, we will. If we can't, we won't. All right. I'm seeing a few people joining in. Very good. Very good. All right. Got me a biscuit. Very nice, my brother. Very nice. All right. Can you guys see my screen? Can you guys see the chart? Should be showing AUD card. Can you guys see that? Yini. Beautiful. Good. So, everyone, what we will be doing tonight, we want to start with patience. And why is patience such an important aspect of trading? Now, this is an aspect of trading that a lot of traders, obviously, they overlook this completely, right? I want to first break down the word patience. Patience, or it can be known as pay tense. You're paid in the tense form. You're paid after the fact. A lot of good traders will tell you that as a trader, you are paid to wait, right? You're paid to wait for your setup. I was talking with Cam before the show started, and he said that one of the things that he struggled with earlier in his journey is, dealing with patience and patience issues, right? And one of the ways he got over that was dealing with higher time frame. And, one of the biggest things is patience is a problem for a lot of traders, right? And dealing with higher time frames eases that out, right? Going down and niching down to one particular setup, and you should be good to go. Now, I want to highlight what is important about patience where regards to the entry of the trade. So last week, we had a few setups that we were looking at. I believe we were looking at AUD JPY, if I'm not mistaken. And I was right to a point, right? That was what, 7 days ago, 1, 2, 3. That was somewhere around here. That was here. That was literally right here. And if you can remember, that I was literally telling you that I am very interested in a buy at this area, but I was looking at the fact that this previous high here, was possibly stopping price from going even further. GJ did the same thing. And I believe CHF JPY also did the same thing. Now, a lot of traders would make a very, very big mistake here. They would see their entry criteria and not have the ability to wait. And you know what they'll do? They'll get in. Now, something that I have learned, right, is I operate along the wavelength in a symbiotic relationship of sorts, right? And I don't know if that's the right word I'm using, but I operate along the wavelength of a wolf, right? And anybody knows me knows that that's the animal that I really swear by, wolves, right? And wolves have a few characteristics that you want as a trader. You want to be able to stalk your prey, right? You want to be able to be quick when the prey is on the move. You want to be able, excuse me, you want to be able to be a wolf in sheep's clothing, meaning you want to understand what the enemy is doing, but still be able to be very close to the enemy. And the reason why we operate like wolves is because wolves are very patient creatures, right? They will watch and watch and watch, and when they have their opportunities, when they're gonna tackle it. Now, you'll also remember that I think I showed you, and I showed you this last week. There was a trade on USD JPY. I didn't get to take it, but I want you to pay attention to how far it really went. Y'all remember this drawing? Go back. Don't take my word for it. Go back and look at last week's live stream, right? Same Asian session, 10 pip, same thing, right? Go back and look at last week's live stream where I showed this exact scenario and look at how far price went from my entry, never really stopping me out, never, even up until now, right? It'll be floating currently at over 470 pips, and it would have gone ultimately from the entry at over 740 pips. I want you to think about this very quickly. I could lose and lose and lose. A wolf is not always going to be able to capture their prey, right? In the wild, you're not guaranteed a meal. In the wilderness and in the forest and in the woods, you're not guaranteed a meal. You have to fight for your thing, right? But here's the beautiful thing about that. When the wolf does capture their prey, oh, trust me, they will have a feast, because oftentimes wolves tackle things like moose and deer, gazelle, and anything that they could really get their mouths around. And the thing is, oftentimes their prey is a lot bigger than themselves. Now, I want you to think, all right? I want you to think about how much money could have been made from a trade like this. You hold this one trade, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. Let's just say 8 days, right? The better part of 8 days. And this one trade, right? One, oh God, we have one. We have one already. Would have, but you didn't take the trade, so you ain't a wolf. Benedict, you are famous, my guy. I told you I'm not going to pay you no mind today. So, congratulations. You got something out of me. But here's the beautiful thing. This is not uncommon of a trade like this is not uncommon of me to take. Right? So it doesn't matter what you think, my guy. Right? And the beautiful thing is, imagine what a trade like this can do. Like I just said, it doesn't matter whether or not you capture it or not, because a trader is not always going to be able to capture the trade that they want. But the beautiful thing is when you do, oh, trust me, it is going to make a lot. And that is the thing a lot of traders, and I'm saying traders with inverted commas, think. You understand? Would have is the words that they use to try to insinuate that, you're not doing this thing, right? But they're thinking, a lot of traders think that in order to be a good trader, you have to capture every single opportunity. And that is why they lose. So they come onto live streams to, try to spew heat. You understand? And it is what it is. It is what it is. But the beautiful thing about it is, once there are opportunities that you can capture, you capture them. But the thing is, when you are not able to capture the opportunity by forcing it, guess what? You're shooting yourself in the foot and trying to run a mile. So, what we'll do tonight is we're going to be patient tonight. We're going to look and see if there are any opportunities. I'm going to allow you guys to ask me whatever it is you want. You can ask me to analyze anything you want me to analyze, and I will. And if there are any opportunities that I see on them, we will take them. And if not, we won't. It's simple. You understand? So, let's quickly go over. I think I was right. So, this is one that I was stopped out in profit on earlier today. Right? I was stopped out somewhere here. I think I got like 50 pips from this. So I was stopped out somewhere in this general vicinity, 50 or 40 pips, something like that. Right? And this goal, I think I took 30 pips from this as well. Right? And that was this. I took 30 from this. Right? Now, what do you guys have? What do you guys have in mind for opportunities tonight. Does anybody want me to take a look at anything? I'm not looking at anything currently, but does anybody want me to take a look at anything? Right? I see Buju asking about BTC. Let's take a look at that. So we'll start there, right? So we start with BTC. Now, my long-term bias on BTC currently is bullish. But looking at BTC right now, it's somewhat in our range. It's actually in a bullish range. And the reason why I would, even though I'm prioritizing bulls overall, the reason why I would hesitate is because if we look at price from the start of the year, it's actually been bearish. So long term, I have a bullish bias, but I am anticipating that it's going to at least try to come back to this area. So I am bearish currently on BTC. And these pullbacks here are things that I'm just looking at where the dealer is going to try to capture some liquidity. These are people who try to see, try to say things, right? And they try to play like they know, but they don't, right? These are who are going to be captured on BTC right now. So I think right now is not a good time to trade BTC. That's just my opinion. I don't think now is a good time to trade BTC. It's actually very consolidating right now, very consolidatory. And this is where the market is capturing a lot of orders, regardless of the session. This is another thing that I want a lot of people to understand. A lot of people say you can't trade Asian because Asian is consolidation. The market will consolidate when and where it wants to, not just in Asian. The market can move in Asian as well as it can consolidate in New York. The sooner you get that out of your head, the better you're going to be as a trader. Simple. And if you don't believe that, you haven't been trading long enough. Simple. Right? So that's BTC. I see somebody ask about gold. Let's take a look at that quickly. So, excuse me. I want to highlight gold here quickly. So I do think gold is currently bearish. It's presently bearish, right? And the reason for that is, even though it's bullish here, if we go on something like the 4-hour, you can actually see that it is overall bearish. And it also rejected the top side up here. Now, you realize I don't have any EMAs on. I don't have anything of this sort. I'm just literally using pure price action. A lot of people don't even know what pure price action means. They're going to draw a lot of trend lines and zones and blah, 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 and say things like, oh, this is price action trading. Pure price action is understanding what the candles or bars are saying. And if I'm looking at it, looking at the 4-hour, I'm looking at the fact that that's a rejection. That's not necessarily real retracts, but that's a rejection to the top side. It has been going up, but it's currently going back down. And it is overall bearish. If it is, we look at the higher time frames, it is overall bearish. So that being said, this is a pretty good and a pretty strong bear move. I think gold can sell off. Again, not seeing any opportunity tonight, at least not as of yet. Right? At least not as of yet. All right? So that's gold. Oibeck, I really hope that I'm saying your name correct. What is your exit signal? How or when do you exit the trade? So theoretically and typically, what I would do is I don't exit ever. I would trail the stop loss. However, dependent on the time of the day, so like if the market is going to close and I find like price is really close to my entry, and I know that the market change over, the market close, market open spread can affect my position, I probably would close it, and that's why I took my 30 on gold and I ran with that, right? But theoretically, most times, 9 times out of 10, I would trail my stop loss as price continues to go in my favor. And the reason for that is actually very simple. The goal as a trader is to minimize the loss and maximize the reward. Simple. But you can't maximize a reward if it is you set a target on it, right? And people say, well, how do you know where it's going to go? I don't. And that's the thing. It's an arrogant thing to do, to set a take profit. That's a kind of an arrogant thing to do, to say that you think the market is going to get here. Says who? Who told you that? Who told you? Tell me, please, who told you that? Says who? Says what? Support? Resistance? So instead of me trying to think that I know where the market is going to go, all I'm going to do is, as the market does something, I'm going to react to it. So I am better known as a reactive trader as opposed to a predictive trader. I'm not trying to predict anything. I'm trying to react to what I'm seeing, right? So that's how I would theoretically exit the trade, right? NAS 100, let's take a look at that quickly. NAS 100, all right. I realize a lot of people like to trade this. I don't really like to trade this. I don't think I've traded this pair much. It is bullish currently, but it's not showing me any momentum to any one side. So I would leave this alone for now. Now, let me talk about something quickly. So I spoke about patience to start with. People were talking or spewing all kinds of BS about, oh, what motivational speech is this? No problem. You can say what you like. I'll tell you this. As a predictive trader, you have no choice but to sit and analyze a market all day, because you have to predict what you think is going to do and draw your zones and draw this and draw that. As a reactive trader, all I need to do is pay attention to when the market is actually moving in my favor direction and then take advantage of that by reacting to it. Now, I think I said this last class and I'll say it again this class. You will never make money fast as a trader when the market is already doing what you want it to do. So if you're looking for buys and the market is buying, that is the best time to buy it. Stop listening to these fools thinking that buy support, sell resist. Trust me. If you've been doing that, you have a pretty good understanding that that does not work. The reason it does not work is because again, there's no reaction involved. You're predicting. And who are you to say that you know where the market is going to go? Nobody really knows how far the market is going to go. Not me, not you, not anybody. So instead of trying to predict, I'm just going to try to react. And I will lose the trades. That's not no secret. I will lose the trades. I'm going to go back to gold, and I called a buy on gold this morning. And I took it, right? And it stopped me out at break even. And that's this exact trade here. It did buy from the entry, and it did come right back and stop me out at break even. It is what it is. Nobody knows what the market is going to do. However, it is actually a lot easier to react to what the market is doing, right? That's just the way I look at it. Right, so Nasdaq, we did that. UCAD to short. Interesting. Let's take a look at that. Why? What is the reasoning for this? Let me put this up. UCAD to short Mohammed. What is the reasoning for you prioritizing a short on UCAD? So let's analyze this together quickly. So UCAD is overall bullish currently. There is some rejection up here, but it's still clearly bullish. It's overall bullish, and it is currently bullish with big bull candles. There's literally, in this last big move here, there's literally 1 and 2 bear candles. Daily, there's literally, the last few days have been only bullish. What is the reasoning for trying to sell it? I'm not trying to incite anything, but what is the reason for trying to sell it? What's the reason, Mohammed? Right? I am not seeing a reason to sell. Yeah. Could you tell me? Could you? Because is anybody else seeing a reason to sell? What do you guys think? Based on what I'm seeing in terms of momentum, I think it is buys. I wouldn't buy it because I'm not seeing a buy entry. But if I'm looking at the momentum is bullish. And trying to buy or trying to sell when the momentum is bullish is a recipe for disaster. Because you wouldn't stand on a railroad track when a train is coming towards you, flying coming towards you. That train isn't going to stop. It's going to lick you down. All right. And that's kind of what's going on here now. If we look at currently, UCAD is bullish. It's not showing any signs of proper rejection to the top side. I'm not saying it's not going to sell. Let me make this clear now. I am not saying that it is not going to sell. What I am saying is there's no confirmation, in my opinion, that it's going to sell. And Neo Vlogs is asking, please give an example of reactive trading scenario. This is what I mean. So if I am interested in an entry on UCAD, it would more be synonymous with a buy, right? And I am not looking at news. I'm not looking at anything else. I'm looking at the fact that right now the price action is telling me buys. It's not giving me any consolation that it's going to sell, right? And for me, I'm being honest, like I wouldn't enter for buys or sells because it's not clear. But if I had to make a decision on either which like if somebody's holding a gun to my head and say, pick a direction, I would quicker say buys than sells. So, and that's just me being reactive. You understand? That's just me being reactive, right? Rather than trying to predict. Because think about it. If we're looking at trying to sell from this area, what is the confirmation of a sell? Nothing really. So if you try to sell from this area, what it really is a prediction rather than a reaction. And by no means, let me make this clear, by no means am I saying prediction is bad. What I am saying is reaction is a lot easier, right? iAttract says ICT does. Good. That's great for them. I hope what they do works. And if it does, that's good. This is my way of doing it. And for me, I genuinely don't see a sell. I don't. And I could be wrong. But here's the beautiful thing about that. The beautiful thing about that is if I'm wrong, I'm not in the trade because it's not following my criteria. Simple. You understand? So that's just me for that, right? So let's go back again, hide current comment, right? So let's go back. We're looking at the others. All right. So the next one is GU. Good. So let's look at GU. So looking at GU from the last few days or so, I think GU was very convoluted. I mean, it's bullish, but I know overall it's bearish. I think there was even a big bear. Yeah, there was a big bear move, and it's actually back bearish again, right? This is actually a pretty strong bear move here because you can see some rejections. How do we know that these are rejections? You're actually seeing wicks being created, right? That's good. That's a good sign. And that's clear bear momentum. That's good. Notice I'm not using a trend line. You notice I'm not trying to say, well, I'm looking for a clear trend, because you will find a lot of the times when you're looking for a clear trend, right? You'll find a lot of the times that you can make so many different trends align, right? And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but in actuality, just paying attention to the rejections and the momentum can get you quite far. Now, I'm looking at GU and it is actually bearish. It is currently bearish, right? That's actually good. The last daily candle closed as a bearish engulfing, so I like that. The overall momentum on GU overall for the last since the start of this year has been bearish, and it looks like it is going back bearish again. On the 50-minute time frame, it's actually also showing rejections to the top side, with this area being the highest area and clear rejection to that area. This is actually good, nice, strong bear momentum here. What I would like to see, let's go down the 1 minute. Excuse me. I would like to see maybe a strong bear move, maybe something like this, a nice strong bear move. And if I can get, so let me put a little tag on this here. If I can get a nice strong bear move, I might consider selling GU even tonight, dependent on if I can capture that. Now, let me make this really clear. You notice I'm saying if. One of the bigger mistakes a lot of traders make is they would say that it looks like sells, and then they wouldn't stop to think, well, I'm not seeing the criteria just yet. It looks like sells, so let me just sell it. And then they have the audacity to wonder, why did they lose? But you didn't have criteria fulfilling your analysis. So that's why you lose. I'm not going to try to take a trade just to prove to anybody anything. If I'm seeing the criteria, then I will. Now, a lot of people might ask, what are the criteria? So because I'm not using any EMAs at this point, and I'm showing you that you do not need EMAs to do what I do, right? I am only going to use candles. So let me put this up here so we can know that we're talking about GU. I'm only going to use candles, right? Good. So I see Easy asks about what is the criteria confluence, right? So simple. So remember I was talking last week about candles and how they really function, right? You can have bearish candles that are predominantly bullish. You can have bullish candles that are predominantly bearish. So this is a good sign where it's actually showing some signs of bear momentum coming in. What I would do, I can go on a lower time frame and look for a candle that actually looks pretty much like this. Now, I want to talk about something here. You see this? And you see this? These are problems for this candle. The reason being, even though this candle is a bullish candle, it is predominantly bearish because the candle went up and came back down and closed somewhere here, telling me that it is rejecting the top side. So you can see now GU is actually creating that bear momentum that we want. So what I can do now is I can come down on the lower time frame. You're seeing even more rejections and more momentum coming in. What you can do, right, is if you can find that candle that looks exactly like this, something just like this, with clear rejection to the top side, without rejection to the downside, that's a pretty good opportunity. So what I want to see is a black candle that basically comes after this, that comes up, rejects the upside, and then basically does not close above this area. So it's a bullish candle, but it is bearish by nature. This is price action because I'm literally trying to adhere to what the candles are telling me, right? I would not sell it if it is a bearish doji. If it is a bullish doji, I will. And you're probably wondering, a bearish doji and a bullish doji are the same thing. Technically they are, but you have to remember, on different brokers you would see different price action, right? So on TradingView for FXCM, which is the broker that we're capturing the data from this for, on FXCM, what it's actually going to be showing you is this, but on a different broker, it might be showing you something different. And if you know anything about how candles operate, you will understand that sometimes you will have a candle show like this on this broker, and then on your broker that you use, which is probably not this broker, you will find that it's a completely different color, completely different candle. So you need to be very careful with that, right? So far the momentum is looking pretty strong. It's actually gaining strength. That's good, right? So we'll stick a pin right here on GU. Let's watch it. Let's see. It's actually, this is good, but I want to see clear rejection. So this is good. It's good, right? Let me look to the left to see if there's anything that it's rejecting over to the left. All right, so let me see here. I saw somebody say, why not use Renkos? I choose to use candles. I choose to use candles. So I'm seeing that it is on this area here. I'm not looking at it as a support, but I want to make sure that it is not rejecting this area, right? So it is still bearish. So that's what we're looking at. The reason why I'm using the 1 minute is because if I use the 15-minute, we will be here for a few hours. All right. You can do this on any time frame. You can enter on any time frame. Just know whatever time frame you're entering on, the lower you go, the more precision you need. Right? Good. Good. All right. So let's see. Right. So we're watching this candle here. Now, if this candle goes up and closes above this, this is what we would call what? What would we, if this candle closes above this, what would we consider this candle here? Let me see who knows that. What would we consider this candle if this, so if it closes like this, what would we consider this? Let me see, quick. You're supposed to know that. Let me hear all of these superstar traders. You're supposed to know that quickly. This candle closing in 20 seconds. What would you call this candle if it closes like this? Very good, a bullish engulfing. A bullish engulfing tells me that there could be a potential bull move incoming. Right? That's good, but it's still an engulfing. And because it is an engulfing, I would not sell it. Because if I sell it, remember I'm using a 10 pip stop loss. If I sell it, I run the risk of it still coming to hit my stop. Because it is showing me that bull momentum is coming in. Just like that. You all see that? That is what I'm talking about with patience. Because what a lot of people would say is, why you don't sell that black candle? Why you don't enter here? Why should I? It's not confirming my criteria. You understand? So that's what we're looking at there. So I have a little sticker pin on GU for now. So what I would need to see is this obviously come back down, clear out this bull momentum, and then we'll return. Right? Good. So we're going again. So we'll stop GU. Excuse me. And let's go again. So the next one is, oh wow, we have quite a few. All right. So we have a good bit here, boy. EU. Okay, so the next one is oil. All right. Wait, just now. Right. So you see what happened there? So it cleared. So this candle clearly engulfed this. That's good. Can't enter yet. Cannot enter yet. Wait. People will probably say, well, you're missing the profit. You're missing the profit. I'm not missing anything. A missed trade is better than a lost trade. So what I would like to see is this come up, clear out this, reject the high, and then drop again. Closing bullish. If it closes bullish, I will probably be entering. All right, there's nothing limiting me from entering this week. I did not lose any trades this week thus far, so I'm good to go. Right? It's not necessarily rejecting any particular side right now, but I am interested on GU cells based on the fact that it is currently bearish. I'm interested. I'll be honest. I am interested. Right? What do you guys think? I'm actually curious. What do you guys think? So this one, I'm still not interested in the sell on GU yet here with based on this candle. But what do you guys think? Let me hear all of these superstars. What do you guys think? Do you think it's buys? Do you think it's sells? What do you think? Erod asks, are you intraday trading or scalping? I am what you call a hybrid trader, meaning I would scalp, and if I have the opportunity to turn that scalp into a swing, I will. But if I'm able to only capture 20, 30 pips from it, I'll take that and I'll be cool. All right. All right. Good. So we will definitely come back to GU because it's actually looking like it wants to accumulate here a little bit. So I'm waiting. You have to remember, I have to be patient because my stop loss is so ridiculously tight. I don't have a choice. If I get the entry wrong, it is going to stop me out probably immediately. You understand? And I have seen it multiple times where you enter here and as soon as you enter, boom, it goes straight for your stop. You don't want that. You want to try to see if you can mitigate that because even though the rules and criteria I'm looking for are very specific, I can still enter and lose. Nobody knows what is going to happen. But the thing is, I am trying to mitigate that loss as much as possible or mitigate the opportunity for that loss to happen. And you see why we wait? Because of this exact thing. I literally have my phone unlocked here waiting, but you realize I'm not taking anything because I have to wait on certain criteria. And any trader who's unable to do this, guess what? You know what kind of results they get in. Now, a lot of people ask, could I sell a candle if it rejects up here? You can, but what is scary is it is a rejection that still comes after a lot of bull momentum. It could be a possible wick fill. If anybody knows Raja Banks would know wicks don't lie, you would know that the wick fill theory or the wick fill principle is a very real thing. When prices and momentum, the wicks will get filled. So you want to be careful of entering on a rejection that you think is a rejection. It mightn't be a rejection if it's coming after bull momentum. And this is bull momentum, even though it's not a lot of pips. So I would be very careful to enter for sell here. I want to see bear momentum and bullish rejection. That's how I will enter, right? So let's look again. So we'll come back to this. Let's go back to G. Let's look at GA quickly. I see people asking about that. I saw people asking about oil too. So we'll take a look at that. Okay, so GA, excuse me. So GA is definitely not in the same boat. GA is actually bullish and it's in the middle of the range and it is ranging currently, not showing either bullish or bearish momentum. I would not really try to prioritize anything on GA. Let's look at oil. Let's look at oil. So oil on the daily, and the only reason I'm using the daily is because I'm trying to get a picture or a general consensus of the direction. So overall it's bullish, but currently for the last month plus, it has been bearish. So that's a conflicting idea or conflicting principle, and it is currently ranging per se. So this is a dangerous place to enter for anything on oil, right? So that's that. Excuse me. Okay, good. Euro AUD. Let's take a look at that. Wait, let me take a look at gold again to see if it's. Let me just because I had to watch it. Okay, so good. So gold is clearly bullish right now, so we have to wait a little bit. All right, so let's look at Euro AUD very quickly. All right, good. So Euro AUD is overall bearish, at least from the 20th of March. For our, let's see, it's actually somewhat bullish now since the ending of July and currently, and it is somewhat bearish now. So I don't like Euro AUD. I don't like that. What I think, what if you really stop and try to pay attention to what I'm doing, you would realize that I am making sure that all of the momentums align. So if I am looking for sells, I want to make sure that overall it sells, currently it sells, and then I'm seeing rejection to the top side. Because if you have rejection to the top side, momentum is in your favor, both currently and overall. It's a lot easier to capture sell. Right? It's a lot easier to react and capture sell. If the market, I've said it before, if the market is already doing the thing that you want it to do, it is a lot easier to react and capture it rather than trying to predict when it's going to turn. You understand? And by no means, listen, I want to make this clear. By no means am I bagging or doubting people who can predict. If you can, kudos to you. That's good. But I'm telling you, for me, prediction trading does not work. For me personally, trying to predict what a market is going to do. And I mean, theoretically, I am still predicting, because once I'm saying possible that it's going to sell, yes, it's still a prediction, but it's a prediction based on how I'm reacting to the market, or how the market is reacting to what I'm seeing right now, right? Rather than just trying to say, well, okay, well, right here, I think it's going to turn. I'm not an oracle, nor am I a prophet or a psychic. I don't know. And if you do, then kudos and congratulations to you, right? Good. GJ, let's take a look at that. Excuse me. All right, so GJ overall is okay. So we had this recently. It is overall bullish, and there we have like a kind of bear move there. For a while, same thing is kind of bearish, kind of never really pushing back to the top, but you can see that it's bullish again. So you have again contradicting ideas, or contradicting principles and theories and concepts, where overall it's one direction and then currently it's a next direction. So how do you know what direction it wants to go? If the market don't know where it wants to go, how do you know where it wants to go? I mean, common sense, right? And you're probably thinking, well, I mean, yeah, but no, but I mean, what I want you to really think about, it is just try to make sense out of what you're seeing. Because I'll tell you this, people might be listening to me and saying, well, people might be saying, well, this is a really stupid way of trading. You are entitled to that belief. You are absolutely entitled to that belief. I can't stop you from thinking that. But for me, it works and it makes sense. And that's what it really boils down to. One of the biggest things that makes teaching trading hard is trying to show you an exact scenario that is not going to play out the exact same way every single time. This is where a lot of teachers get it wrong. A lot of teachers say, well, you look for this trend line and you look for this top and you look for this and you look for that. It's never going to play out the exact same way. What you should try to understand is how to understand what it is you're looking at. And if you realize that's exactly what I'm doing, I'm trying to psych out what these particular candles at this particular time are telling me. And I'm being patient in really doing it. Right? Good. Right, you're doing it right, especially for the scalping daily bearish sells for sure. Good. Erod, I like that. Bullish rejection for sell like a retest today. Yes. So let's come back to GU. We're looking at this tonight and want to really see if I can capture an entry. Good. So it's actually rejecting the top side now. Now, a lot of people might be thinking, could I, let me get rid of all of these mad drawings here. A lot of people probably might be thinking, could I sell it on the 15 minute? Yes, you can. Just remember, obviously, the lower time frame you go on, you're going to have a more precise entry, but you need to react quicker and you need to have a better reaction timing. So you can see now another rejection may be coming in here, right? And you could see that the market is actually going back in a bearish direction. On the 50-minute time frame, the candle looks pretty good. That's actually the type of candle I want, but I would like it to be black, right? I would like this candle to be black because remember, let's just say I were to sell it right here, right? This is a 10 pip stop, right? Which is what my stop always is, right? Except on gold and sometimes USDT, where I might change it dependent on how volatile it is. But if I sell it here, right? If this next candle is to actually reject or pull back, guess what? I am giving away profit and actually allowing my stop loss to be easier to be hit because of the fact that I entered at a lower area. You understand? So I really am very, very cautious on entering on the type of candles, certain candles that I really want. Now, so you're seeing what's happening here now on GU. You realize that on GU there's rejection to the downside, but it might be a wick fill. So we waiting. We want to really pay attention. Excuse me, we want to really pay attention to how this next candle is functioning. Because if this next candle rejects the downside, it's not just a rejection here, but it's also a rejection here, which tells me that the momentum might not necessarily be ready to go in my favor. Right? This is a good sign. That's actually a pretty strong sign. It's telling me that this bear momentum is still, the bears are still winning. Remember, I told you to visualize an actual boxing match between the bears and the bulls. You want to see that the bears have the bulls cornered. If the bears don't have the bulls cornered, entering for sells is a very dangerous thing because it could go either way. The match could go either way. When you're looking for an entry, you want that entry to be synonymous with the winning team. Simple. If you don't understand that, oh, trust me, it don't matter what you do. Simple. It don't matter what you do. Right? Does that make sense to everybody? Good. So this is actually the kind of candle that I would like to see. There is some rejection here, but it's not. I would say that it's negligible. So I'm watching it here. Let me see the 15 minutes. Right. So if I'm entering on the 1 minute, I will obviously I have no choice but to enter on, enter on this candle being red. Right. But if this candle rejects, that's a good sign. Right. There we go again. Let's see. Let's watch it. So we're watching it. So while we're watching, anybody want me to take a look at anything else? Anything else? We do definitely have possibility for sales on GU tonight. And I am highly interested in a sell. I didn't know that. I didn't know until you all brought my attention to it because I wasn't looking at anything, right? A question that I know people might have is, so if I enter on this candle, wouldn't I be entering on bull move on the lower time frame? Yes, you would. And that's just the thing. That's why you have to be very careful on how the candle on the higher time frame closes. Remember I said, the lower you go, you have to be more precise. You understand? You have no choice but to be more precise. Now, something that you also need to take into consideration on the 15 minutes is this candle also carries a rejection to the downside. So be very careful of that. Be very, very careful of that. Right? I checked GJ already. Right? Which trading platform do I use? I use MT4. UJ, I don't think UJ has anything right now. Let me go and take a look at that. And AJ, let's see. So AJ would be this. So AJ is definitely currently bearish, but it's overall bullish. That's a problem. That's a big problem, right? And UJ is a similar situation where it definitely reversed off of the high, but it is currently bullish. So it is bearish overall, but it's bullish right now. That's a problem as well. Don't like that, right? Excuse me. AUDCHF. Let's take a look at that. What are your reasons for choosing these pairs? Are you all seeing, so like, okay, so good. So right off the bat, I'm seeing this here as a definite range. So AUDCHF is in a definite range. So it's neither bullish nor bearish. I would say it's actually in the middle of this range. It is bullish from the around the 23rd of March 2020. So it's definitely bullish, but currently you can see that it's bearish. That's a problem. All right. ADCHF, I did that, did gold already. I checked GJ already. Let's look at EJ. Okay, bearish here. Let's see. EJ is bullish, and it is currently showing some signs of bull momentum as well. Interesting. So it is definitely bullish, but this worries me a little bit. For it being so bullish, why are the bears suddenly having so much strength? What is the reasoning for this? That is a little alarming. What is the reasoning for the bears coming in with all of this power? Is it a last win? Is it a last stand? Or is it that they're actually gaining strength? You see, when you learn to ask the market the right questions, that's how you're going to really get an understanding of what it is you're looking at. The market isn't going to give you the right answer all the time, But the more you learn to ask the right questions, you're going to, sooner or later, you're going to understand what it is you're looking at, right? My setups are more accurate London session. I don't like Asian, slow and choppy. No problem. And if it works for you, if that works for you, then kudos, right? I'm not the guy that trades every pair. I still knew good. And if you want to trade only one pair, that's also completely fine. You're welcome to do that, right? For me, the reason why I like all of the pairs is because more opportunities makes it a lot easier for me to not have to worry about forcing a trade on only one pair that I look at. So if I only trade USD JPY, and if USD JPY doesn't have any setup today, tomorrow, and for the entire week, instead of trying to force a trade, I'll just go on another currency pair. You understand? And if there's nothing there, then there's nothing there. But you see, when you only trade one pair, it's a lot easier to succumb to forcing trades. That's just the way I look at it. And that's more from a psychological standpoint, right? Check US30. I'll do that just now. And Fast Trades asks, what is my risk reward ratio? Average, it is about 1 to 5, but it has been ridiculously high many times, right? Let's look at GU. All right, good. So GU is definitely bearish, right? Still not showing. So all right, so let's look at something interesting happening here now. So this is definitely not a buy, at least based on what I'm seeing. What is the reason for price hitting this one area so many times? It could be that the dealer is trying to make traders believe that it is actually going to buy, and he's inducing buyers by making them believe that it's a support. Remember, if we look on the higher time frame, remember if we look to the left, remember there was an area to the left that looks like a really obvious support. Why is the dealer painting that in such bright neon lights? Why? What is the reason? So this looks pretty good. You know what? I'm going. If it closes like that, I'm going. I'm selling it. 10 pip stop loss. Right then and there. I'm selling GU. Sells. That's it. Sells on GU. That's it. 10 pip stop loss. And I am in. So my trade looks like this. And my stop loss is 10 pips. So let's see. Like that. Good. And that's it. So I am in a sell on GU, and I gave my reasoning. I'm okay with losing. I'm okay with winning. I don't care which of the two happens. All you need to know is the risk is managed. We have a reason for the entry, which a lot of traders cannot say that they have, right? They just enter trades all willy-nilly and all crazy like. I have a reason for my entry. I broke it down, all of that, right? So what I will do now to ease my mind and appease my mind, I am not going to check GU for at least, I would say, 5-10 minutes. I'm going to walk away from GU completely. I've locked my phone. I don't know what GU looks like. I'm not going to check GU or any other surrounding GBP pairs because they might be positively correlated right now. So to appease my mind and not make me feel like, oh, I might be wrong or whatever, I'm going to completely walk away from the market. Well, theoretically, if I wasn't on a live, I would completely lock my phone and go do something else. It's around dinner time for me. I'll probably go make dinner, right? But obviously, I'm doing this live, so I'm going to stay in the live with you guys, right? But I'm in sales on GU, right? Dave, I'll check the USD just now. Sorry about that. Right? AUD card show the up candle 1 minute and then flush, which is your favorite trading session, and why I like Asian, because it is the slowest session. Think about it. When you're looking to do something in terms of precision, think about a sniper. People always like to say that they're sniper traders, right? Does a sniper do things quickly or slowly? Think about that, right? When you want something to be precise, do you do it quickly or do you do it slowly? Think about that, right? 10 pip stop loss was my take profit. As I mentioned, I do not use a take profit per se. I would literally, if GU just goes 900 pips, I would hold it until it takes me out in profit by trailing my stop. If it hits my stop loss at 10 pips, I have lost 10 pips. And if you're wondering about my risk percentage right now, I am exposed at 0.5% of my entire account. So literally nothing at this point. Now, what I want you to understand is I have a 10 pip stop loss and I'm risking 0.5% of the account. If it goes 20 pips in my favor, that's 1% automatic return. If it goes 40 pips in my favor, that's 2%. If it goes 60 pips in my favor, that's 3%, and so on and so forth, right? And it's possible. Who am I or who are you to say that nobody knows what it's going to do? We don't. You understand? Nobody knows what it's going to do. So just have a reason for entering the trade. Follow your criteria, make sure you know what you're looking for, and wait until you see exactly that. Wait, listen to me. Wait, you realize how long I waited to capture that entry. Wait until you see exactly that. I could still lose. I don't know what it's doing because I'm not looking at it. But I'll tell you, for me, it has worked wonders over the last few years. Right? So let's take a look at US30. I know Dave has been asking me to take a look at that. Let's take a look at that. I had a trade on this, I think, last week. And that was the same principle. Just it's overall bullish, just follow the momentum. But currently on US30, it is bearish, right? So it is bearish and it's actually showing signs that it's going back bearish again. So what I would do is and you could actually see where it's rejecting the top side. Let's look at this on the daily. So it's definitely back to bearish momentum and it's bearish. I would actually like to see a nice big bear move. I would probably try to get into a sell on US30. But right now, it's definitely not ripe for the taking, right? Seller's exhaustion. Okay, well, all right. If you see buys, then right, good. All right. 10 pips stop loss was my all right. I answered that already. How do you manage a trade that you're holding? So in a case like GU, because my risk is literally next to nothing, I would literally just go to bed. Literally, I would either wake up with it hitting my stop, or I would wake up with it in profit. And you're probably wondering, you're probably thinking that's a very reckless way to do it, but think about it. Once you enter the trade, what are the 3 scenarios that could really happen? Well, there's really 4, but there's most times 3. Win, lose, or draw, or slippage. The broker that I use, which is IC Markets, you don't get slippage that often. And if I do, well, obviously, well, I have to live with it. But once you enter the trade, your stop loss is placed, your risk is managed. What else is there to do? I just want to let the trade run. If I am right about the momentum, if I'm right about it being bearish overall and currently, and I am right about it dropping, what do I have to do? You understand? So that's that. Dave asks, why do you choose, or why did I choose that stop loss? In my back testing, when I was learning, like basically learning to trade years ago, in my back testing, I realized that that's the kind of precision that I like. I don't want price to go much further than 10 pips for me to be told that I was wrong about my entry. The biggest thing for me as well is it is a lot easier for me to figure out what lot size I should use in relation to a percentage risk of my portfolio. If I use a 10 pip stop, it's a simple multiplication. You understand? Obviously, the different currency pairs would have different pip values, but I get a quick general idea of what is 1% risk, what is 0.5, what is 0.2. It's a lot easier to do it when I have a 10 pip stop. You understand what I'm saying? That's just for me. It's just for ease of access, right? Okay. Average win percentage. So this is something a lot of people don't understand how to really calculate. Average win percentage varies on the duration. So I could say that my average win percentage is 100% because thus far for this entire week, I have not lost any trades. So win percentage or win rate for this week is 100. It's 100%. However, I could say for the year, if I took 100 trades, I would tell you, I'll be honest, I have won probably about 35 or so, something like that. So my win rate is actually quite low, but I don't rely on win rate, right? I don't rely on win rate. I rely on risk reward. And that's a topic for a different day, right? How many pip profit would you start to trade? That's actually something as well that it's not a one size fits all kind of answer that I can give. Trailing your profit or trailing your stop loss into profit relies on you understanding how the market is actually moving. You want to make sure that the market is actually moving in your favor direction before you actually begin to trail it. Because if you don't, and you begin to trail it, you will find like you'll be stopped or prematurely. And let's be real, nobody likes anything that happens premature. Let's be honest. So you want to make sure you give the trade room to breathe. And only when you know that it is cleared in the direction that you think it's going to go, then you slowly begin to trail it. That's just the way I do it. Because I am making sure that my my risk is so managed, because I'm making sure that's the case, right? I am willing to lose 0.5% in the hopes that a trade that I catch is just like a fisherman. You ever heard somebody say, every day is a fishing day, not every day is a catching day? This is where a lot of traders get it wrong. A lot of traders think that they should be winning more times than they lose. That is incorrect. You can lose and lose and lose. Doesn't matter. Once you win bigger than you lose, that's what it really boils down to. And if you really truly internalize that, you will quickly realize how true it is. Win rate, is only a minor thing. You could literally lose. You could it. I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but I would say that win rate does not matter as much as risk reward rate or risk reward ratio, right? 10 pip stop loss for all time frames. Now, that's a good question. A lot of people probably wondering what time frame do I enter on. So you see I was jumping back and forward on GU from the 15 to the 1, maybe to the 5, to the 30, to the 1. Entries are always lower time frames. Directional bias is always from the higher time frame. What do I consider lower time frame? 15 minutes or lower. All right. So for me, I would theoretically look for an entry on the 15-minute, the 5-minute, or the 1-minute. You can do it on, listen, you can enter on the 4-hour. You can enter on the daily or the monthly, dependent on your entry style. However, you lack precision on those higher time frames because the candles aren't giving you as much details. Does that make sense? So that's that, right? Good. Euro USD, how is now? Is there any opportunity to sell? Let's take a look. No, I don't want to take a look at Euro USD just yet. Right? I want to give GU a little while to go. Do you have a trade Hang Seng on Asian Open? No, I don't. Right? So let me look at Euro USD now. Let's see what it's doing. Euro USD. So as of right now, I do not know what GU is doing. Like I honestly don't know what it's doing. EU is also currently bearish. But is it overall bearish? That's the question. So yeah, it is actually. EU actually has some potential for sells, right? Yeah, I think there's some potential for sells. Similar. Whoa, hold up. Whoa. So this here is what we know as consolidation. It's something I call accumulation, where it is a trait of Asian session where they obviously accumulate orders. Now they're accumulating orders to do something. We don't know what it's accumulating orders to do because nobody knows where it's going to go. But if I had to make a guess, if somebody was holding a gun to my head and said, choose a direction, I would say sells on EU because that is how I would react to the price action that I'm seeing. Let's take a look at GU. So GU currently is dropping. That's good. That is currently, so you can see that is currently almost 10 pips, just about. The drawdown or the maximum drawdown on this trade thus far is a little less than 2 pips. Not bad, but I mean, it hasn't really gone to say that it's a really beautiful trade or what. It could still come back. And this is why, again, what I would say in this case, right? So this is already 1%. Well, not 1%. This is already, what's that? Just about 5% reward. I could close it here, but I'm not interested in doing so. I want to hold it. What I would say, a lot of traders fall victim to this. They would see this and they say, oh God, that is it. Stop loss to break even. That is a big mistake. If you are right about the direction, you don't need to trail it. At least not right away. What are you afraid of? The only reason you trail your stop loss prematurely is because you're afraid of where you entered. I'm not going to trail it. I'm going to leave it. It could come back. It could hit my stop for all I care. I don't care. You have to be very cold-blooded as a trader. So right now, I genuinely don't care what GU is doing. I'm just going to leave it. You all already see. You all understand why I entered. Does everybody understand why I entered? Everybody understand why I entered? Steez, yes, I am Trinidadian. That is correct. Does everybody understand why I entered GU? Does it make sense? Did the analysis and the breakdown and the entry make sense? You realize how patient I was? Somebody was spewing BS about you didn't catch it, so blah, blah, blah. That's not the point. The point is patience is the virtue. You understand? You have to understand that to be a good trader, you have to be patient. And if you're not, you're never going to get good at this thing. Never. You can have the best entry technique in the world. If you're not patient enough to capture the entry criteria and utilize it as an opportunity to make money, you're never going to get good. Simple. Right? How 10 pips trade possible when spread only take 10 to 20 pips? That's actually incorrect. So you would see on your broker, excuse me, maybe in MT4, you might open GU and you might see spread 10 or spread 11 or something like that. That is 10 or 11 micro pips or 1.1 standard pips. So the spread is actually not 20 or 10 pips, but 1 pip. Right? GU may reverse at 121,360. Let me see where that is. 121,360. Let me see here. 121,360. Maybe. Okay. I see. No, wait. 121,360. What is the reason for that? 360. What are you seeing? 121,360. Or is this? Are you seeing this? Maybe you might be right. Who knows? Listen, I think by now y'all should realize I am not afraid of being wrong. Maybe it might reverse at 121,360. Maybe it might. And if you are right, then kudos. Right? It is a strike rate with risk reward ratio unless you're swing intraday catching to tip if so more. But that's the thing. You realize I said that. For me, I am more interested in capturing a bigger, longer hole. So for me, right? For me, I'm literally so it's coming back now. I am cool with that. I am cool with that. I don't care. All right. Henry says, not completely. Please explain again. What is it you don't understand? What is it that you don't understand? Right, Steve's, hey, nice. It's nice to see a man from Dago. Dago in the house, beautiful. All right. Can you explain the entry on GU again? Okay, so is it the entry? Okay, that is true. I've waited through more. Good. Hey, somebody from Carnage too. Aye. So we have some nice Trinidadians in the house, man. Good. So let's break down the entry again very quickly. Let me close off this. Good. Remember, this is a price action system, meaning I am prioritizing what the candles are doing rather than any indicators or drawings, really. The only reason these drawings are here, if I'm being very honest with you, is to explain what I'm doing. But if I wasn't explaining this to you and I was just trading it by myself without anybody watching me, there are no drawings on the chart. The reason why I am entering GU, first things first, very, very, very important, right? Understand the direction. If you do not understand the direction, it don't matter what you do in terms of an entry. It don't matter. All these sniper traders who want to trade sniper entry and they see that, I'm gonna tell you something. You can be sniping. Like I said, you can have the best entry technique in the world. Best entry technique in the world. If you don't know where the market going, think about it. You go to a gun range, right? A firing range. The target is in that general direction. Whereas you shooting and aiming in that general direction. Will you ever hit the target? No. You need to be in alignment with the direction before you understand how to enter. Simple. So the first thing is we have to identify the direction. GU overall is bearish, as you can see, since what? This is the daily. Since what? That is since 2014. That's just ridiculous, right? Since 2014, GU has been bearish. And then currently you can see a nice big bear move. We could also see beautiful rejections to the top side. Rejections up here, and you know rejections because of big wicks in that particular direction. Good. Become down. And I could have done it on the 15-minute, but I didn't get the exact candle that I wanted. Could have done it on the 5, but same thing here. Did not get the candle that I wanted. Now, 1 minute. The reason why I entered on this particular candle is if I'm looking at these areas here, I'm realizing that it came to this area once, it rejected. It came back here again, it rejected. It came back here again, and then it produced a candle that is a bullish candle. And I want to highlight it here. It is a bullish candle, meaning it is closing up. It is closing to the high, but the candle is identifying as a bearish candle. So you seeing it as bullish, but it's actually bearish. You understand? That is the reason for me entering there, right? And as you can see, it's coming back right now. This is why you don't move to break even too soon. It's not enough. It hasn't gone far enough for me to say that it's worth me closing at break even. We don't know. Maybe it's gonna come. Maybe I got the entry just a little wrong, and maybe it's gonna do something like this, do this, and then drop. We don't know. So you don't want to starve the trade per se. Let it do what it has to do. If you were right about it, if I was right about it, then I would leave it to do what it has to do. That's it. Excuse me. Does that make sense? Guyanese people say Trini people make water curry. What do you think? Fellas from Trinidad, what all you think? For the people who listening from Trinidad, what do you guys think? I disagree, but I digress, right? Again, you are entitled to believe whatever you want, right? Can you say sell on a black candle, now on red? No, you want that candle to be black, right? Well, for me, bullish. right? Besides price action, do you use any indicators, and which one? The only indicator I would use ever is a moving average, and the only reason for that is to help with the general entry, right? So if price is respecting the EMA, you have a better chance of winning the trade. Simple, right? But you cannot use that by itself. This is why I say that EMAs are not the above all and end all, right? G is going to reverse from 150. Maybe, maybe. All right, you're like these prices for reversals. Maybe, listen, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's going to stop me out right here. Maybe. You understand? Maybe. All right. Do you trade gold? Yes, I do. I trade all of the pairs. Anything you see on this watch list? No, I lie. I lie. Sorry, I lie. From here, go down. I don't trade. These are just things that I put on and people ask me to look at them. But from BTC up, I would really most likely trade these things, minus a few like the Norwegian krona and the Mexican peso against the dollar, the ZAR, NAS. But most of these up here, all of these here, I trade all. So, guys, do we have any questions before we close off? Does anybody want me to take a look at anything else before we close off? What do you guys think? I hope that you enjoyed this one. I hope that it made some sense and you learned something. You learn a little thing about patience. Very, very important as a trader. You realize how long it took me to get the entry on just this one trade. If you find like you're taking, you find like you're getting entries 3 and 4 times faster than this, yeah, it's probably because you're not giving it enough time. Because if it is you find like you're getting entries faster than this and all stopping you out, you're not giving it enough time. You're not paying attention to the details, right? Do you analyze stocks? If you give me a stock to analyze, I probably would take a look at it. But to say I would go and do it of my own accord, I wouldn't. All right, I did USDT already, and let me look at AUD USD quickly, and then we will close off for the day. All right, so I'm gonna stop looking at GU now. I'm literally just gonna let it do what it has to do. All right. AU, so AU is doing something very similar to EU and GU. Definitely bearish. I know overall I think AU is bearish. Yes, it is. So it's doing something very similar, but I'm definitely not seeing an entry because this is quite a bit of bull momentum here. So, my friends, I think I'm going to close this off here. Yeah. Oh, S&P 500, what do you think? Let me see. S&P 500. You know, I don't even know if I have this here. Do I? I'm not even sure. I do not. I do not. All right, let me put it on. All right, S&P 500. Actually looks very similar to US 30 right now. I don't like this. It is currently bearish. Is it overall bearish? Yes, it is. So I would wait for a nice big bear move and then probably try to get in. Right? And I see people asking about, I did US 30 already. I think more sells. Right? Dislike from you. No problem, bro. Kudos to you. I really hope that, you know, your trading is up to scratch and you are profitable and successful. You're not going to get any hate from me, bro. I really hope that you are a profitable trader and you get all of what you want out of life. Do you use any scanner to scan for trades? No, I use only my eyes. All right, guys. Mika asks, when would I take profit? I wouldn't take profit. I would just trail it. Guys, have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week. If you are going to be taking any trades, please practice proper stop loss placement and proper risk management. Have a great rest of your day and rest of your week. No, Chris, I have never been affiliated with IML. Guys, peace out. See you all soon.